So as I was saying, welcome everybody. We're going to learn a little bit about Greek music and Greek rhythms, okay? With Mr. Khuzami. He'll introduce to you how many instruments we have today.
I brought four instruments today.
Four instruments.
Yeah.
He'll name them to you. A little historical background, perhaps.
I'll do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, so Duskalis, anything else you want him to do? Anything with the Greek language, or just hear the music? Just the rhythms, that's fine. Yeah.
Good. All right.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So everyone, it's a pleasure to be here. My name is Richard Khuzami, and I'm actually Lebanese American, Greek Orthodox. And one thing you'll find about these instruments and this music is that they're like their own form of communications. Music is its own language that's easily interpreted by different cultures. So you can communicate through music even though you don't speak the same language. And there's a lot of continuity between the different countries in the Middle East, the Balkans, Anatolia. All these countries use a lot of the same instruments, also in Persia and parts of India. And percussion and the drums are the heartbeat of this music and dance. Everything comes from that. One story with a lot of the training that young people go through in countries like Lebanon and Turkey and these other countries for music. Even though you may want to play a bouzouki, you may want to play a clarinet, whatever instrument it is, a lot of these schools say that you have to play drums for 1 year before you can even touch that instrument, because you need to know the heartbeat before you can actually put the icing on the cake. So, and for myself, just so you know, it was, I came from originally playing American music way back in the day, in the 60s. And I started to listen to the music from my country, and at that point fell in love with it. And I basically got rid of all of my albums and radios and stuff, and just ran around for years to try and feel the music with tapes and stuff from this part of the world. So I guess I'd like to start off here with introducing some of these instruments, and they are common to all these countries that I mentioned. This one here, which looks like a tambourine, okay, is also known as a def, or in Greek, a defi, and it's also known as a rick, but it's played differently than your American tambourine, which would be like this. This is played quite a bit differently, and it's like this. So that's a rick. Okay. Next instrument, and this is called a bendir. Okay. This particular one is from North Africa because it has strings in it. And these strings create a buzz to create a particular sound. Okay. And this one sounds like this. This is the forerunner of a snare drum, basically, that you see in a regular drum kit nowadays. So, next, I'm going to give briefly. This is also a bendir. This is one from Turkey, actually. Okay, and this is used quite often as a bass on the ensemble, and it sounds sort of like this. Another style that's a Turkish style of playing. There's an Egyptian style of playing also that goes like this. And at least I got one guy's foot tapping. Very good, thank you.
I saw some of it.
Oh, okay, good. And then the main instrument, which you guys might have seen, it has different names throughout this part of the world. In Greece, it's called the dumbeleki. Okay, in my country, Lebanon, it's called the beki. The Armenians call it dumbek, and the Egyptians call it tabla. Traditionally, this instrument was made of clay with the skin of a fish over the top. And nowadays, though, being modern times, now it's made with cast aluminum with mylar head, but it is tunable. I used to have to tune it with heat, but now it can be done mechanically, so it's a lot easier. On all of these instruments, there's three basic sounds that you get. For the bass, there's something called the doom, okay? And this would be this. That's a doom. Each of these instruments have this low pitch sound. Now,
it's in the middle is like the hardest part, and
yeah,
outside you go for like percussion.
the outside is what is known as a tech, okay? And that is sort of like if this is the bass, this would be the bass drum if it was a drum kit, and this would be the snare drum, you know, like that. But also, if you want to have more emphasis, there's also a slap that is used like this. So you put them together, you got like that. See, that's putting together all those three different sounds. And you can do that with all these instruments, basically. Okay, I'll play a little bit on this. Okay, good. So I guess at this point, some of these odd meter rhythms that was being discussed were often related to folk dancing and to dances and music. So what I'll do is I'll go through some of the rhythms from this part of the world, and I'm going to demonstrate them on this instrument, okay, and give you an idea of possibly what dance they might relate to. So within the Greek genre, okay, first of all, you guys know what a kalamatino is? Mm-hmm. Okay, so that is in 7 beats to the measure. One way that we break down all these rhythms so that we can easily figure them out and make sure we put the accents in the right place is we break them all into 2s and 3s when we count them. So there's 2 different 7s often used in Greek music. One is the kalamatino, 7 beats to the measure, and that's counted 3, 2, 2. It would be like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2. And this sounds like this. Let's see if you guys can help. Okay, like if you can clap on the ones, that's how that you would actually create the heartbeat of this music. So it would be like this. It'd be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2. Let's try and see if we can do this. Okay, you can do it. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Keep going. Okay, now there's another Greek rhythm in 7 that's commonly used. It's called a tick, but it's a puntia rhythm. Okay, and you switch it around. Instead of going 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, you're going 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, and it has a faster tempo than the one you just did. So this would go like this. Try this one. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, That's a T. 40.
That was 5, 7.
7.
7.
7, 8. Okay. Now, next, and this is another one that you can help on. This is a common rhythm used all through Anatolia and Greece. And it's a 9/8. Okay. And Karsilama is the name of it, and it's used quite a bit in Turkey and Armenia too. I'm going to use this Turkish instrument for this.
What's it called? I'm sorry.
Karsilama.
Yeah.
And this is the way I teach this is the rhythm is 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 3. So it's 3 2s and 1 3. An easy way to figure this out is try and create some words that you can say. So if you can say something like camel, 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 caravan, camel, 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 caravan, camel, 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 caravan, camel, 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 caravan. So that's 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 3. Again, let's try this on the ones. Got 3 2s and 1 3, and it adds up to 9 beats. Okay. Good. Okay.
1 second.
Okay. Have it simply put. These guys are going great. Come on, guys. Let's try again. Let's just say it. Okay, I'm not going to play. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 This section over here, that's my new backup band.
That's the art class.
Good. So what else would you know? Okay. There's a 6 beat to a measure rhythm that the Greeks use. It's called samiko. You know this dance? Okay. And that basically is using something like this, and It would be going like, sorry. It's 6 beats. It's not odd rhythm. It's a symmetrical rhythm. So let's try and count this. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, It's not the same without the clarinet.
That's a clarinet.
Yeah.
No, I used to play the clarinet.
Any questions so far? I must be doing a great job. Okay. Now, I know that you're understanding that you're also doing, we're working on something in a 5/8 time, okay? Do you want to explain a little bit about what you guys are doing, and then I'll just show the rhythm?
I think this is the scholars you can say.
Yeah, so you guys are learning about the song Here Meet Us Wishes by Lisa Flo to the Thesis class. You've been learning about the mythology of the Chaldean days, a little bit of the ancient history and the story, how it relates to Byzantine history for the class. And there's an actual song that accompanies it that you guys listen to. And that one was in a 5/8 pattern. With, since it's an asymmetrical number, right, so we have to figure out how we divide those 8 notes. So this particular song is grouped with 3 8 notes and then 2 8 notes. So it has there's still 2 beat pulse, but 5 8 notes in groups of 3 and 2. So at some point we'll look at the words to get some vocabulary from that as well. But today we're going to learn about the rhythms and how the words can naturally flow with that rhythm.
Yeah, so again, and that is counted, as he said, 3 and 2. So you got 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1. Is that the right tempo? 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3 1 2. So let's try and count that again on and clap on the ones. Say 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3 1 2. And this would be like this, okay? 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 I wish I had a melody instrument with me. And so you guys don't remember the song? Because I'm not sure I know the melody of this particular song. So. Mhm. Okay, no problem. Okay, but that's the feel of it, you know. One thing I want to tell you guys also that's real important, when you play an instrument, basically with a lot of things in life that you do, whether you're public speaking, playing an instrument, whatever you're doing, and you know, you have to involve your whole body with it because you trust that your whole feeling, it has to do with dance and things like that. If I have to keep a time, a steady time for a band, okay, you don't separate it. In other words, you don't just play with your hands. You got to play with your whole body because your body has its own time signature in it, you know, because you have your heart beating. Okay, so there's an innate sense of time. So if you loosen up and you perform and you play your instrument freely, you're going to easily go right into the right sense of time. Okay, that's a tool that I use all the time. When I get too tense or something like that, I'll speed up. You know, if I'm not paying attention, I'll speed up or things like that. I won't keep the time. And the thing about a drummer is that we're the one instrument in a band that cannot stop. You know, we don't get any breaks because everybody depends on us. We put it this way: if you're watching a band and the guitar player stops playing a little bit, nobody really notices. You know, the bass player stops a little bit, no, nobody notices. You know, but the drummer stops and everybody notices. So that's why it is the heartbeat of the band. If the heart stops, everything dies. So
It's the ship that drives the music.
yep.
Everybody goes on the ship, which is the drums.
Yeah. So let me see what other rhythms. Okay, you also do a sirto. Okay, so that's a symmetrical rhythm. Okay, and it goes like this. That's an 8 count. 8 would be 8 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And you have your accents. The 1 is a doom, and the 4 and the 7 are texts. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Thank you. Okay, and if we ever do it this fast when you're dancing, you're going to start throwing stuff at me. Yep. Let's see what else now. Okay, there's another one which is a very common rhythm that's used in the Arabic countries a lot too. It's called the shipateli. Okay, you guys know that dance. They do a lot of it in La Kyotico. They do a lot of that. And it's also used throughout it's more of a pop thing. Okay. Okay, so this sounds like this. That's a 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2, 3, 4. A little trick to this, you just heard the surto before. The first half of this is like a surto. Like that. Okay, and then it changes in the second half. Okay, so that's again, that's a dance that we do a lot in the weddings and stuff, and it's done a lot, like I say, in the music from Chios.
Can you show us a little bit? So that's
What?
Theos is kind of the typical Greek Pictadeli version versus
Yeah.
like an Armenian, or like.
Oh, I mean, well, okay. Well, if we go into Arabic,
Yeah.
what the Greeks call shiptatelli is a bunch of different rhythms. We break them down a little bit more in the Arabic. The Arabic style, what we would call a maksum. I'm Lebanese. It goes like this. Used a lot, and we break it down a lot within the Arabic because we will actually add dooms or subtract dooms. Like this is, that was a maksum. A melody would be like 2 dooms in the beginning. And then a Saidi, which is another one, had 2 dooms in the middle. Like that. I'm going to play a rhythm which is, I think, it's used a little bit in Greek music from Thrace. It's also used a lot in Turkey, in Anatolia. It's a 10ing, okay? It's counted 3, 2, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, Like that. That's another rhythm that you may run across. Any other dances you guys know? Anything else you want me to?
Did we miss any dances?
Hasapiko, I guess.
Hasapiko?
It's very, very simple. That's a 2/4, basically. 2, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, like this. Like that. Okay? So, and that can get, that's a basic beat. You can go, you get fancier with it when you're playing. Like that. All these rhythms, you have a basic things, but you can play off them. If you're doing folk music too, as opposed to classical music, folk music is sort of like jazz. We never play the same song the same way twice. It's basically really based on feeling. So, anything else?
Yeah.
Yes.
I want to go back to the belly thing they brought on with Doom when it's in different places. It's
Yeah.
never changed. Can you like elaborate on that? Is there?
Yeah,
a
that's
reason or
with
like
Arabic music is a little different than that comes from the Arabic music tradition. What's different about it is if you listen to Arabic songs, they change time signatures quite often in the middle of the song in different sections, basically to follow the melodic or vocal lines. Okay. While in Turkish and Greek music, you start on a certain time, you stay on it, you don't change. With us, we change a lot. So to try and follow the vocals. So the beginning of the song could be many different time signatures in one song. The singers, famous singers like Kulthum or Feyruz, they can have 6 or 7 different songs, and the song could be 40 minutes long. So so things would fit together. Like you might start with a like a surto. You might go. Then you switch it to Aksu. percussion section. So the hardest thing for a drummer is to make sure when he's changing the time signatures, he's keeping the tempo the same. So that's very important. Traditionally, the percussion sections in the Arabic music would have all these instruments playing at once. So, and maybe some of the rhythm sections are 10 or 11 people playing at once. So I would love to come back at some point and bring an instrument with me, a melodic instrument, so that can actually add a little more depth to each of these rhythms. Because if you hear them in the context of the song, it's more understandable. So I hope that we can do that at some point.
You guys like it?
Yeah.
We'll do it again then.
So that we'll do it once like that, and then we can also do it once with dances.
Yeah,
You
you have.
And if we want to actually match them up to some of the dance groups too, and I can explain the rhythms that you are actually dancing to, so you can have an understanding that can just help your dance. So,
Just so you guys will know, we're gonna be performing April 22nd here. The story of Princess Anna Portoyanita. That's the musical the school's putting together. Mr. Khuzami will be performing. We have magicians, stilt walkers. We're gonna have acrobats, a whole bunch of stuff, a whole orchestra. So just keep that in mind. But this is why it's important to have somebody that knows rhythm, especially a lot of people just assume everything's the same. Like when I write songs with Richard, usually I tell him I want a Greek rhythm that's traditional. I don't want an Arab, I don't want an Armenian. He knows it. And if you want an Arab or you want something more specific from that world, he will know it. It's not all the same. Or the Balkans, Slavic rhythms are different. Bulgarian, Serbian, Albanian, Russian, whatever have you. So you need to study, and you need to know your rhythms, because not everything's the same, and every country brings its own culture and DNA into the music. We all share the same overall kind of music and climate, because they're all part of the Byzantine world that used to be in the Ottoman world before there was the Persian, the Hellenistic. So we have a lot of similarities, but everybody has their own little things. So it's good to be able to pick those up. It's Armenian, it's Arab, it's Egyptian, it's this, and Lebanese. Right? So, and the islands of Greece, so many regions of Greece have a lot of rich history, traditions, rhythms, dances. We have I think thousands of dances, but they have specifically about a dozen different kind of rhythms, right?
yeah, and I mean, and there's a lot of other stuff, but yeah, within Greece in particular, I know that there's many different dances. One village can be 10 miles away, they can be doing totally different stuff. So, which is one of the more difficult jobs of being a musician in this kind of music, because if somebody yells out that they want a particular song, you have to come up with it somehow. Hopefully you know it.
That's very good. I just want to take attendance for Mr. Miliotti's class. Again, thank you, Mr. Khuzami. And thanks so much for everything. Thank you. Thank you. We'll have you back, definitely. Our online students, thank you for joining us.